And a very happy new year to all my modern viewers. Hope you've been doing well. We are here with Jasper. We saw him last round. He's playing Death and Taxes. His opponent for this round is going to be the one and only Ricardo, who is playing Izzet Murktide. Now, Ricardo, a very experienced Legacy player, very experienced Legacy Delver player. Now, it's not quite Delver, but it's Delver adjacent enough for me to say, yeah, this should be a pretty interesting match, but we'll see, We got some Ragavan action. We have Cat Jesus for Jasper. And that Ghost Quarter is potentially going to start doing some things, assuming Ragavan doesn't ruin it. Yeah, there's the Lightning Bolt. Unfortunately, going to take care of the Leonin Arbiter. Then the turn 1 Monkey comes in and... Ooh. I was going to say that's going to spell disaster, but... Going to vial in a Giver of Runes for Jasper here and trade off the Ragavan. Ricardo at 16. Resolving a Serum Visions. Looks like he's thinking of putting both cards at the bottom here. No, it's going to be top bottom instead. And then passes the turn. Now, I did see a Murktide Regent, which is a few cards off, but a few cards goes pretty fast in a deck like that. We have Stoneforge Mystic coming down for Jasper. Gonna help him find an equipment. I'm guessing it's gonna be Cauldron Complete. No, it's gonna be Sword of Fire and Ice. Now, that either means Jasper is really scared of what Ricardo is doing and just wants the best card against his deck, or he's already holding a Cauldron Complete. Which, that's definitely a possibility. Now, Leonin Arbiter comes down, turning the Ghost Quarter into straight up Wasteland, and doesn't even matter, he just top decks another one. But his life total is going pretty fast. Murktide comes down. Yeah, getting a bit of a shortcut here. Sure, you know, we'll allow it. We all know what's happening here. Actually, at the end of the day, it doesn't even freaking matter, because the graveyard's the same if you do it before or after the Murktide, so that it's fine. So that is now a 5/5 Murktide Regent. Not the biggest, but it's probably gonna be big enough. I would imagine it's gonna put a real damper on Jasper's game here. But that Sword of Fire and Ice could definitely still swing it in Jasper's favor. We have Expressive Iteration coming out for Ricardo here. Yeah, I'd say it's still looking pretty close. I think it's slightly favored for Ricardo here. Gonna exile land. Looks like he's sending a Dragon's Rage Channeler to the bottom, and he adds a Brazen Borrower to hand. I also still see a Monkey. I see Spell Pierce. Yeah, I think this game is pretty solidly in favor of Ricardo here. But it's not unbeatable. It's not unbeatable by any stretch. I can definitely still see a couple lines where Jasper just manages to come back. Now, it does help that Jasper isn't playing a lot of non-creature spells. Most notable are Ether Vial, which you don't really want to spell pierce anyway, and Path to Exile, which could actually be relevant here. Notably, it doesn't work against Solitude, so that might be an out here. Leonin Arbiter gonna deal 6 here, I think. Yeah, he is at 8. I'm just working out the life totals. Jasper manages to draw a card off the Sword of Fire and Ice. Yeah, maybe I was underestimating just the power of Fire and Ice in this matchup. Like the fact that Leonin Arbiter just... It's safe now. It doesn't die. Not only that, it draws Jasper a card every turn. I actually completely forgot. Spell Pierce works against equipments, assuming you don't have a Stoneforge Mystic. So, Ricardo might consider just getting rid of the Stoneforge Mystic. You know, not get blindsided by any more equipments. You could also consider playing Ragavan here. Yeah, Ragavan would be really helpful, but there is a Stoneforge Mystic, so I think you're gonna have to get rid of the Stoneforge Mystic regardless. But then the question is, do you dash the monkey, yes or no? There is an argument to be made about not dashing it. Of course, if there is another equipment, Jasper is probably gonna play it anyway. Ricardo deciding not to go Ragavan, not killing the Stoneforge Mystic either. Could maybe try and look for a second Lightning Bolt and just end the game next turn. That's a possibility as well. Because the Murktide deck is really good at just trying to find the cards that it needs. There's even an argument to be made about playing for Expressive Iteration, so bolting during Ricardo's end step. Looks like Brazen Borrower is going to bounce the Sword of Fire and Ice. That's going to save Ricardo some life. Okay, he's not going to bolt in the end step. Let's do draw for the turn. I'm guessing Ricardo is just looking to play it slow at this point. Gonna put Jasper to 5. And this is the do or die moment. Let's see what happens. 2 mana is going to maybe Expressive Iteration. He's thinking about it. Is going to Expressive Iteration. Now he could still find the bold and a land. I did find the land. I don't think he found the bolt though. Bit unfortunate. No, it doesn't look like it. Looks like another Expressive Iteration and Counterspell. Gonna add Counterspell to his hand, exile the Fiery Islet, and then play it. So a third Expressive Iteration now on the bottom of Ricardo's library. Jasper gonna Mystic in the Sword of Fire and Ice again. Just keep pressuring. If Jasper equips the sword and then goes for attacks, I think that's the best idea here. Just not necessarily, actually. Yeah, Ricardo bolts the Arbiter in response. He has to, because otherwise he's just dead on board. Gonna put him to 5. Jasper does have enough mana to re-equip it. If he does, he can still win, right? If Ricardo doesn't somehow answer the equip and the attack and then the fire and the everything. So the fire islet is gonna get taken care of. But Ricardo floats mana and yeah, no, it doesn't matter. Jasper has Xaxis and we are off to game 2. In game 2 we have Jasper on a mulligan to 6. Ricardo starting us off with a Dragon's Rage Channeler. Looking like a pretty aggressive start. Etherfile gonna get forced, is going to trigger the Surveil. And pretty fast and good start for Ricardo here. Trying to recover from that first game. Pretty close game actually, the first one. Let's see. It's going to mill off the Surveil, is going to mill off the Thought Scour, and then draw a card. Probably, yeah, with the Mishra's Bauble, we should definitely have Delirium for the Dragon's Rage Channeler. Ricardo is going hard this game. He is looking to play. Gonna come in for 3. Yeah, these are the kind of openers you expect from like Phoenix era of Modern. Which, I mean, isn't very far off where we are right now. Let's be honest. Still the blue-red deck with the cantrips, and yeah, some versions were playing Bauble, right? Don't quite remember why they were playing Bauble. Well, I do remember seeing a version of Phoenix playing Traverse the Ulvenwald. It wasn't great, but it was definitely a version that existed and was around. Now, Jasper managed to get an Ether Vial in anyway. Not the first one, so it's a little bit slower. And with a start like Ricardo's here, a slower start is kind of dangerous. Expressive Iteration coming down looks like didn't find the land, so one card's gonna get exiled for good. You have Murktide, Snapcaster, and Expressive Iteration. Puts the Snap in hand and is thinking of what to exile. Yeah, is going to exile the Expressive Iteration, keeping the Murktide Regent. You have to choose between the cantrip and the thing you're looking for. Yeah, get rid of the cantrip, please. People at home, if you're watching, always exile your cantrips if you can. So, the Dragon's Rage Channeler going to get pathed here. And alleviate some pressure. I don't know where that card went. And now the Murktide is back in the deck, so probably not too far off. Ricardo gonna fetch a steam vents. Tapped, it looks like. The end of Jasper's turn, and then take turn. Jasper, off to a slow start. Under expressive iteration. We saw a slow start from Jasper in round 1, and he still managed to win that, so it's not impossible. It's definitely not ideal though, and this is a much more aggressive deck than the Rogues deck was last round, so this could be potentially very dangerous. Now we have Skyclave Apparition coming down from Jasper here. Is going to take care of the Dragon's Rage Channeler. And I think it's gonna get heated. Yes, it is. So Ricardo does get his 1/1 token back. And I mean, sure, he would have rather had the Dragon's Rage Channeler, but yeah, what can you do? And Murktide coming down. I am sure that's going to be an 8/8. It has to be, right? That is looking like the biggest of regions. I mean, Ricardo is playing Snapcaster Mage, so he might decide to just keep something in there. Again, he does have enough, right? Looks like he milled an Abrade at some point. He's going to keep Expressive Iteration and Abrade in the graveyard. And he goes for a 7/7 Murktide Regent. Just one short of the big 8. Stoneforge Mystic, gonna get vialed in, is going to find an equipment, but before it does, it gets bolted. Now, if Jasper doesn't have a creature, I don't think Fire and Ice is gonna be a very good option here. But, okay, he does bring Fire and Ice. And then again, Jasper could always just draw a creature, right? Like, he's playing plenty. Don't quite know what Jasper's last card is, but he also has a draw for turn. Vial going up to 3. I think there's a... Still don't know what that is. Is that a Tectonic Edge? Yeah, thinking about it, that might be a Tectonic Edge. I mean, not that art, but... Let me see if I can find that. Scryfall. Meantime, Ricardo going for a island here. Let's see, what kind of printings does Tectonic Edge have? Yeah, that is a Tectonic Edge, absolutely. That is a... What is that? Friday Night Magic 2012. Tectonic Edge, I believe. Giver of Runes coming down for Jasper here. That is a creature. Is it gonna get sorted? It is gonna get sorted. Snapcaster Mage gonna abrade the Sword of Fire and Ice. Serum Vision's coming down for Ricardo here. And Jasper is in a bit of a pickle. Though not necessarily off of Ricardo's fast start. Because he definitely did put on the pressure from the beginning. But Jasper still holding out here somewhat. He is behind in just board. Murktide, a very good grindy deck. Gonna double Tectonic Edge two of Ricardo's Steam Vents here. Gonna kinda clamp down on his red sources. Ooh. That's not good. I don't know who's at that camera, but if you're watching, stop it. You put it back normally, so it's fine, but... Let's see. We got Thought Scour, we got a Fiery Eyelet, just drawing for something here. Even though Ricardo still has the clock, is potentially concerned that Jasper might draw something that could get him back into this game. There is still plenty of mana, there's still a Violent 3, there's still the potential for like a Stoneforge Mystic, getting a Cauldron Complete, or getting a Batter Skull. There's still plenty of options for Jasper here. And... did I miss some damage? Jasper says, no, that's not gonna be it, and we go to game 3. Alright. I missed the lightning bolt, that's what it was. I got it. Anyway, Jasper on the play for game 3. Both players keeping 7, so... should be a pretty decent start. Turn 1 Giver of Runes gonna get unholy heated by Ricardo here. Just one of those things you just have to do. You don't want to kill the Giver of Runes, but you kind of want to kill the Giver of Runes, right? Sanctifier Unvec coming down for Jasper. Also a really good card. Mostly good against the red portion of Ricardo's deck, not so much the blue portion, but we can forgive it. It's good enough. Does also help to keep the Murktide region a bit smaller, as Lightning Bolts and Unholy Heats are not going to be... oh yeah, the Expressive Iteration also not going to be in the graveyard. Oh yeah, Murktide is having some issues. Those Expressive Iterations would also have been very nice to have at all, let alone just in the graveyard, but it's not the worst. We do see a Murktide Regent in the hand of Ricardo, as well as 2 red spells, 3 red spells, 4 red spells? I think there's 4. Yeah, Ricardo's hand is red. And his graveyard is not. Thalia coming down. Gonna put a bit of a damper on what Ricardo's trying to do here. Unholy Heat gonna take care of the Thalia, but Ricardo in a bit of trouble here. Dragon's Rage Chandler coming down. I think that is the thing that puts Ricardo to 14. Unfortunately, I have lost the dice. They have gone away. They have left me. It's okay. We'll make do without. Dragon's Rage Chandler, a red creature, so it's not gonna get blocked. Stoneforge Mystic gonna get that sword again? I think it's sword again. Sword did put in some work. And the Holy Heat gonna get rid of the Stoneforge Mystic. Was it sword? Oh yeah, no, it was definitely the sword. Ricardo is looking to hold up Force of Negation to try and get rid of the sword when it comes down. Actually, he doesn't even have to. He's holding a Shattering Spree. He can just get rid of the sword if he wants to. But yeah, now Dragon's Rage Chandler having some trouble finding Delirium. Something like a Serum Visions would be a pretty decent draw here. Ragavan coming down with a dash. I'm gonna come in for 3. I'm going to exile Ether Vial. Now I don't think Ricardo wants Ether Vial. Just a hunch. But he'll definitely take that treasure. No, he does want the Ether Vial. Oh, interesting. Oh yeah, because he gets to surveil, of course. Haha. He's gonna surveil that Spirebluff Canal into the graveyard. Off of the Dragon's Rage Chandler. Right. See, that's why I don't play Murktide. I probably should, because it's a really good deck, and I could definitely use a bit of the practice. But yeah, Ricardo knows his blue-red decks, definitely. He definitely knows his blue-red decks. Now, Skyclave Apparition gonna take care of the Dragon's Rage Chandler going into exile, but not that it would have gone anywhere else. Yeah, what Ricardo probably needs is like a Brazen Borrower. No, you don't get to see the top card and then say, oh yeah, I meant my own deck, Ricardo. That's not how this works. Let's see, we have Force of Negation, Ragavan, Murktide Regent, and Shattering Spree still in the hand for Ricardo here. Can't quite see what Jasper has, but definitely on the side of the table you want to be on right now, I think. He still has the sword, doesn't he? I'm pretty sure Jasper still is holding the sword Fire and Ice. It was the sword, right? And then just completely miss what that was, and it was like a Cauldron or a Batterskull, right? It was sword. Anyway, he has an equipment that he got off the Stoneforge Mystic in hand. That isn't probably isn't going to do all that much with Ricardo's hand being what it is. Murktide Regent coming down, only a measly 4/4. But it's still a 4/4 flyer with the potential of getting bigger. Oh, does that interact with the Sanctifier? No, it's when it leaves the graveyard, but they never hit the graveyard, right? Yeah, no, that doesn't work that way. That would have been insane. Can we all just appreciate how insane that would have been? Just, you play a red spell, you get a 1/1 counter. So, Sword of Fire and Ice coming down. It was the sword. I was starting to doubt myself there, but it was, in fact, the sword. Sword not gonna get countered by Force of Negation because Ricardo is not holding blue cards. Other blue cards. But he still has a Shattering Spree, so he can just sit there, wait for Jasper to equip, and then get rid of it anyway. Interesting to note that... Oh, yeah, of course. Because of the Murktide region, the Sanctifier couldn't attack. Now, Murktide is attacking this turn. So... Jasper is going to go down to 13. And... yeah, now we're actually starting to see a road for Ricardo to come back this game. Somehow, through Sanctifier Unvec, he might actually still have a way of winning this game. Is going to Shattering Spree the Sword of Fire and Ice during his post-combat main. Not sure what the thought was behind that, actually. I guess the 2 mana doesn't really matter all that much. To be fair. Oh no, it actually... It mattered a lot. It matters, ladies and gentlemen. The 2 mana matters. That Solitude coming down. Gonna take care of Ragavan. Really? So, Ricardo to 11. Interesting. Second Ragavan gonna take the Apparition, which is going to give Ricardo a 1/1. Yeah, I'm seriously thinking, why not the Murktide region? Is there something about Solitude that I'm missing? No, it was allowed to target the Murktide region, right? But Jasper opted not to? Even after losing his sword, he opted not to get rid of the only blocker that Ricardo has for a Sanctifier on deck? I mean, now also the Illusion, I guess, but Sanctifier is still 2/2, right? The Sanctifier is still at 2/2, yeah. That is a 1/1 Illusion. So, not sure. Looks like Ricardo drew Serum Visions. Maybe, potentially, one day he'll get Delirium. Not out of the question. Monkey in his hand as well. Jasper going to 8. And Jasper in a bit of trouble here. Path to Exile is going to get forced. Did he Solitude the Ragavan? No, the Ragavan was tapped. It wasn't to get rid of blockers. I am so confused. Maybe you can enlighten me at home. Like maybe somebody watching has an idea of what happened there. I'm not sure, honestly. I'm not going to assume that it was a punt just because I don't understand what happened. But Honestly, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something that they know. I think Ricardo's at 7 here. Yeah. Jasper at 11 of the lifesteal of the Solitude. Now, Serum Visions revealing, let's see, a Dragon's Rage Channeler, and not sure what the other one is. I think it's Murktide region. I don't think we have the cards right now to go for a second Murktide. We do have land instant sorcery for the Dragon's Rage Channeler if we ever find a bauble, or if the Murktide region dies. That could be interesting. Yeah, I think both of them went to the top. And he's going to mill Jasper. Yeah. So, second Murktide in hand and a Dragon's Rage Channeler now for Ricardo. And if the Murktide on the field ever dies, we just get the Dragon's Rage Channeler and we keep going. Guess we're gonna crack the Silent Clearing, try and draw something to end the game, but with every passing turn it's looking better and better for Ricardo here. The door is closing fast. Hardcast Batterskull coming out. And then passes. Dragon's Rage Channeler gonna get vialed in. Is still a 3/3. We have land, instant, and sorcery. And now, yeah, I think that's 2 Murktide regions for Ricardo here. Ambitious is not going to be impossible, but definitely a bit soon, I feel. But again, depending on what this Dragon's Rage Channeler is going to do, that Murktide region could be coming down a lot faster than you might expect. Question is, how badly do you want to keep the Delirium on Dragon's Rage? Oh, Dragon's Rage doesn't have Delirium yet. And looks like it won't have Delirium for quite some time. And now we see Murktide 2 pumping Murktide 1. So that is now a 7/7 Murktide going for Jasper, and this might be the tipping point. This might be the point of no return for Jasper here. That Batterskull is not going to be big enough. The second Murktide region is just going to block it. I mean, it is indestructible, it does grant him life, but not enough. He'll go to 8, and then get a hit for 7 and 6. He needs a removal spell. Is going to equip the Batterskull to the Sanctifier. That is now a 6/6, so that would put him at 10. That's still not enough. Illusion is going to take the hit. Jasper's gonna go to 10, if my math is right. Yeah. It's not enough. I think Jasper only has 1 card in hand right now. So no Solitude either. And yeah, that's GG. Despite just an impressive start from Jasper's side in Game 3, he just doesn't manage to close out the game. And we're going to see Ricardo in round 3.